Welcome to a world of unforgettable experiences and immersive marketing. Transform your events into extraordinary moments that captivate your audience. Whether it's corporate gatherings, product launches, or community celebrations, our immersive marketing solutions elevate your events to new heights. Immerse your attendees in a world of audiobooks and podcasts tailored to your brand. Engage their senses and leave a lasting impression. Explore the power of storytelling with our curated podcast content. From insightful discussions to entertaining narratives, we've got the perfect audio experience for your event. Ready to make your next event unforgettable? Scan the QR code now and book a complimentary immersive marketing call with our experts. Let's create memories together. Elevate your events with immersive marketing. Scan the code and let the magic begin.
All right. The video is out of control this morning and it won't stop. It is the bots are taking over. Good morning. Good morning. A few things going on today. Got a new computer, had an issue with it going on during the summit, let alone the storm. People who couldn't make it. What an amazing week. I got this new computer and I'm setting it up. I don't know about you, but hey guys, I've been working on more or less basically a laptop setup because I travel and have been moving around so much, and now I'm stable. I got these beautiful screens here and this great setup, but I don't know about you, but whether you're a tech head or not, the only way to get stuff to work and to check it out is to actually plug it in and play with it a little bit and find the best setup. Where do you want your mic to go? How do you want things to play? But for some bizarre reason, nothing was transferring and there was no live going on at all. Nothing was live, nothing was playing. But I'm glad to be here. Lots of prayers and wishes to heal to Colleen. She is not able to make it this morning in here. She's resting. I hope you get better. My ride or die, my wingman. Yeah, definitely. That's what's going on here today. Just making sure that everything looks like it's working right now. And hey, I don't know about you, but if you guys felt that weird update, not only from Zoom doing some more updates and also LinkedIn, I lost my account for a minute. I don't know about you, but let me know, you guys. Let me know in the chat if you've experienced the weirdness and the oddness of what is the bizarro upgrades for January. Everything was so crazy this morning. Well, last week, I should say. I couldn't talk to people. I couldn't reach out to people. And, if you're an event host, you do depend on those social media channels to connect to people. We had issues with the Zoom links not working. The event site wasn't going on. But, hey, it was truly not only the group and the community that I work with, but also I really relied on my leadership skills. And that's how you start to leverage. How do you leverage events? Let me know in the chat. I'd be, love to hear from you. Anybody have your opinions? Tell me what happened this weekend, right? What was the visibility like for you? Or if you had a way around it. I went onto Reddit, went onto the text thread, and all bizarro-ness in that thread was saying, hey, everybody was having problems. People couldn't access their account. They couldn't connect to people. They couldn't get on. My account wasn't showing up. It got ghosted. So it was super secret and almost private. And, I didn't get locked out of my account. I never got anything saying I did something totally weird. But it is a tech nation, and sometimes to circumvent that, you can go on a pre-recorded, do your podcast pre-recorded, but that negates the whole live interaction. And just bizarre stuff. It is a lesson learned. Like, hey, who's going to back you up? Who's really part of your tribe and who's collaborating? Who's watching your back? Are speakers actually looking out for your best interest as well, that you bring onto your stage? And who are you collaborating with? How are you increasing your visibility to five figures? Well, every time you do an event or anytime you have a podcast guest on, you've got to check that out. Note to self, are you writing that down and saying, hey, note to self, that person didn't leverage their visibility by sharing their tribe with you or even sharing their email. Nobody did you put the email list out? Did you see it? Did you include the host? That's really got to be put in the contract. So I have to really start looking at that. I don't know about you, but always updating your contracts. Are you sending out contracts to speakers? It's expected, whether you're in a contract or not. And just some notes I'm gonna look up today. Of course, my background's a little bit different because even though I have the same account that I signed in with for the last year or so with Zoom, my backgrounds don't transfer. Isn't that odd? You're supposed to keep all that information, but they sure don't. So none of those graphics transfer out. Very odd how that works. So every time you upload Zoom, there's some tech issues and some things, it's to say out loud like, hey, yeah, my show, my mic. But it's not the complaint fest. It's really like, hey, I want you to be forewarned of what's going on and how often these changes are going to happen. And people want to say, hey, point the finger, blame, blame, blame. I want to blame the host. Um, I can't stop the tech. The site I listed, one of the sites I listed the Zoom on, um, it wasn't, the Zoom link wasn't adding itself, it wasn't attaching, it wasn't going forward for people, those who had registered on that site. They're supposed to just be able to click the email and get to the site, but they didn't get it. Or they didn't check the email for the new email with the had to update a few things, wasn't going through, so I re-updated everything. People didn't get that, so I did have to send out another newsletter and let people know, hey, here's the new link. You've got to do that. You're constantly got to be able to pivot and be on, always your head on a swivel. So what does this have to do, Nicole, with running events? It has everything to do with being online. Wouldn't you rather know those warning signs of what to look for? And hey, it wasn't just me. The world's not gaslighting me. You want to know, hey, what was the truth? What happened? Did somebody else have this experience? And a bunch of people on Reddit did. I even went and clicked the link. It has everything to do with visibility because if you can't get on, you can't circumvent all of the tech. Sometimes it's just not going to happen. And know that moving forward that those bots have control, those computers have more power, those systems and structures have a lot of power. That doesn't mean give in, that doesn't mean keep pursuing, and maybe there's a workaround, or maybe somebody will develop a workaround. When I went on Reddit, I went to a site, and that specific site listed and said that LinkedIn was no longer having glitches, but you could see all the comments in there were like, hey, it was a total glitch fest. People still couldn't get on, and that was the new update. So you're looking at the time and the date because they had posted something 24 hours ago saying everything was good, and then you could see the new updates were within like 23, 28 minutes. So what are you looking at? Know that sometimes you are right. There is issues. There are those issues, and this is what the Voice Lab is all about. It's really fueling entrepreneurs to know that, yeah, the world, let's not overcomplicate things, and systems and structures can be easier, but it's a tribe of people that you can work with and find some solutions, find some tips and tricks and workarounds, because as this tech advances, there's going to be really those smart, super intelligent nerdpreneurs that are going to be able to game the system, and you want to pay attention to that so you know what the workaround is the next time. And know that too, that hey, that does have a lot to do sometimes with your attendance. And why is that, Nicole? because people may not be getting the corrected, updated link. Or perhaps people, there's nothing like 15 minutes into something and you've got to go back and backtrack and change the link that you fixed 24 hours before, right? Or you went with a team and you're messaging people or you DM people and you can't get a hold of that. You can't get a hold of people because now your messaging system is down. So no matter what you do, whether you're calling people or you're texting them or they're emailing, are they looking at it? So when you're a speaker at an event, beware. When you're an audience member at an event, look for that top email and say, hey, can I get in there? So yeah, we had some people have some problems and there were some tech issues. And then on top of it, not only updates, but a storm. But how do you get past that? Do you have the right team in place so you can talk to people and troubleshoot and work with that tech? And that's absolutely what this is all about. This is what helps you really leverage your event space. This is what helps you stand out as a leader to really get those five-figure paydays. Why? Because you're not just hosting events, you want to have that strategic influence and the lead generation, right? You can generate leads, but are you reaching out to your leads? Are you discussing with your leads? Are you able to scale with purpose? Not just a passion that you first came in with, but it's building lead generation. And it's a different day and age, people. It's a different day and age. There is a lot of technology going on. And what happens with that technology? It changes, it updates, and it's updating so fast. It used to be every few months, it used to be once a year, and now it's like every full moon. And then on top of it, it's January. There's a lot of update systems. If you have to stay on top of the updates, but sometimes even if you're on top of it, doesn't mean that update has been fully done. So if you've never updated a system and you don't understand, just know that there's a lot to it. And a lot of times those systems update and they don't go into the back office and really are into the system and make sure that those links work and that it has been fully updated. Because sometimes you have to go really deep within the system and make sure that everything is connected. And that happened earlier, a few weeks back with Go High Level. I don't know about you guys if you use GHL Go High Level. They did a huge update, systems update, and they kind of broke the links. They didn't make sure that everything was fully smooth. They just ran the update and walked away from it, went, got their coffee, went to bed, whatever. But nobody went back in. You do have to check in the system that those links have been fully updated and the old programs have been deleted or refreshed correctly. Because if it's trying to run the old program and the new program, sometimes that system can get a little bit overwhelmed. It has everything to do with the virtual online events. And this is really about your influence. Do you know and do you realize sometimes, and I know as a speaker myself and a summit host, that it's hard to know that this is changes. Sometimes it's hard to accept, in a sense, that your stage of 2020 is not your stage of 2026. You're going to generate leads differently. Those warm bodies aren't always going to be there. A lot of times, those warm bodies are on a VIP upgrade. A lot of times, we just had the Devastated to Divine Alignment Summit. That was a couple weeks back. Raised some money for the nonprofit. But with that, I know my allergies, excuse me for constantly scratching my nose, my allergies. My nose is just tickles. But a lot of that was, are people gonna, people comfortable showing up? Are people comfortable coming on camera? Sometimes not. You've got abuse victims, you've got survivors. So you have to look at that. Where's that audience, right? The other thing is speakers, you got to support the system. You've got to support as well. You should be turned into an audience member and willing to devote your time. So that is something for the host to really communicate. Did you communicate that properly? Hey, guilty as charged sometimes. Perhaps I felt I communicated and didn't communicate properly, or you're used to having events go a specific way and you want things to happen a certain way. And a lot of that is falling off. And so really switching to people and teaching them and training them, hey, we're now engaging. There was a trust recession in there. Now there's opportunities for engagement, so let's engage. That's on that new school platform. It's in the networking. I see it in the summits. People show up, but they don't know the interaction. Like, hey, how's it going? I want to hear more about you. Ask a few questions, offer some information, have a back and forth. You know, um, don't show up to the networking if you don't want to engage. Don't show up to the networking if you don't want to participate. And that's why we have uh, also added for Monday as well for Voice Lab, you guys. And then we'll get some more in what's going on today. Monday the 9th, after Monday Morning Business for Foreplay, the live podcast, we're going to stop the live stream and go into caffeinated conversations. And what's that, you ask? It is all about networking. And join us for this. It's a high energy, shotgun style networking session inside Voice Lab. It's designed to help you get visible, position yourself as the industry leader, and connect in real time. So it's not passive networking. This is not a live, it is live relationship building, right? So it's live in real time. We want high conversion, high connection. Let's get back to business. Let's get back to actually networking and talking about business and drive engagement. So there, we are in a virtual space, but how do you drive the engagement? You have to bring people back into networking that used to do so well, whether it was in the virtual space or live. They're relationship builders. We're bringing back relationship builders, and that's what we're doing. So stay tuned for that. That's happening next Monday, the 9th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll put that information in here. And let's talk more about converting those summits. It's a different era. Times have changed. Maybe, there are some spaces. Um, where it is. Good morning, Mona. How are you? Love to see you today. Good morning. Good morning. She was there the other day in Monday Morning Business Foreplay. It's always good to see people. Um, the chat is not displaying on here. So good morning. Mona, would love to see you in that caffeinated conversation. So if you were in Monday Morning Business Foreplay, glad to see you there. Stay this next time for caffeinated conversations. And the great thing about that as well, put that in the chat. The great thing about that is, LinkedIn won't let me sign in. The great thing about that is it's right after the podcast, and we're going to bring back some conversations. It's all in the school um, platform as well. So if you're in Voice Lab on the school platform, that is free. You're welcome. Come in Monday. We have Solutions Lab. We have Learning Lab. Solutions Lab is 8:30 in the morning. And so we'd love to see you and start engaging. It's here for you to engage. And so, I know there's a trust recession, and many people have said that before. One of the speakers, Tawana, that was at the summit, mentioned that. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you do see the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Mona. I wasn't seeing it on my restream. It's so crazy. Things are set up a little bit differently than I had. I had a, computer here. And now I've got this great vast desk. It's like totally my spatial is everything in my peripheral vision and my space has changed up. So it's a little bit getting used to it. I love it though. Amazing, good stuff. So let's get into it here and share the questions. If you want to scale up, you've got to know and trust that it's time to upgrade. And I am so thankful I was able to upgrade this week, and it's so amazing. New mic, speakers, computer system. It is awesome. It is, we've got to upgrade. and sometimes it's just a whole thing. So who is this for? So visibility, when you want a visibility, you want, and we do have summits that are getting listed right now. It is in the school as well. So there is a summit coming up in April. It is for authors and speakers. More about that, the email will be posted. And if you're an author and a speaker, it'll be April. Let's see the dates. April 21st to the 23rd. And what is that? It's a few hours a day. It's not a long day. We've shortened the days. It's an author summit. It's called the Plot Twist. It's a gathering where authors share share the most compelling moments of the story, and the audience stays for the page-turning conversation that really follows, right? So when the author's coming in talking about their book, their business, and then of course a conversation. So you could come on stage, or you an author, a speaker, a coach that has authored, been part of an anthology, want to be a writer, come on in. We're adding classes and courses, especially opening up the Learning Lab and the Solutions Lab, to really share this experience of being an author. What's next? What's your workflow? What's your lead magnet? Offering things like audiobooks and video that you don't have to go to Amazon Audible for. And that takes a lot of time. You got to hire somebody, they've got to read it, you got to prove it, you got to listen to the Audible. Does Audible approve it? And Audible kind of encourages you to, even the voiceover people, they've got to go through, that you want them to have gone through training and courses. It's crazy how the system works. You thought it was hard enough. But what's the point of this? Well, nobody has, I mean, I haven't seen, do you hear about those book launches or book signings anymore? It's very rare that you see people out there on a book signing. You may see it on people that are news anchors or media personalities that are still on TV. There's a few of those, not a lot, but you still have to get public. You got to get on podcasts. You got to get on summits. This is the way to do it. There is also going to be on February, and there is a call for speakers. So this month, where did it go? Where did it go? Speaker call. 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on February 18th. That is there as well. That is also in the Voice Lab. Of course, there will be an announcement made for people as well. So there'll be some updates. There'll be some other speaker spots. And the great thing for the members of Voice Lab, thank you so much. Those members that have upgraded to premium or VIP, get some spots on the stage. That also gets you into podcasting. So if you're interested to learn more about that, hey, it's a lot easier than to try to do, that kind of nickel and dime thing where you're paying here and there. How does that improve you? How does that leverage your stage time? How does that leverage your business? Well, you got to get on stages. You got to host an event. If you're an author, just think, if you're an author or a coach, an entrepreneur, you should be out there branding yourself. And what a better way than to host your own summit? So you want events that are influence engines, build in lead generation. It's not just YouTube, folks. It's not just I got 10,000 views. Well, who bought that, right? Who paid for that? It's how are you influencing your audience? It's not just YouTube, but people want a place to go to show up. Nobody's used to anymore engaging. It's hard to, hey, remember, you can ask questions of the speaker. So we had a speaker panel, and it was funny because there was a little bit of hesitation at first for audience to come off mic and get out there. It's like, hey, it's a game changer thought. It's, hey, now I can connect. People wanted me to be on mute, and I'm just there to be there. We want you to engage and show up. We want to hear your opinion, ask questions of the speakers. And that's great because the speakers should be able to answer as the expert any question you have. It's not zinger, it's not gotcha questions. It's questions that you may ponder. Hey, you know, What do I need to get on stage? Well, hey, you need a media kit. Why do I need a media kit, Nicole? Well, because, people want just a one page thing, and that can be a Google Doc. They just want to know where to go. They don't want 20 different emails. Fill out a form, stick it in there. I shouldn't have to look everything up, right? If you're an event host, you don't have to look everything up. You want events that fund impact. You can do for cause marketing. You leverage events for long-term results. So there's consistent engagement. Where do people find you? How do they find you? People have separated so much. We want to bring them back. I'm starting to see that more in networking, more in events. It's just going to take time. We push people so far out that it's been hard. And this is the way you scale your visibility. You want 5 income payday. If you're a summit host, things that people really don't talk about. Speaker fee, non-speaker fee. What are the speakers getting? What are the speakers' expectations? We can talk about it. We can assess that. If did you let your speakers know? Hey, if it's free, this is what you got to do. If it's paid, there are many, many, many places that require you to get registrants, even if you've paid. They require a minimum amount of registrants. Maybe it's 22. I think the number's gone up to 32. Is each speaker getting 32? Right? There's places where they'll charge you a fee and they'll say, hey, it's $350. You get the 300 back once you get your 22 audience signups. They don't expect the audience to be there. They just want those leads. And so the expectation is that, and the audience is the same way, speakers have gotten into this mindset too, that I don't have to show up. I can come in and click my button and I did my due diligence. I read your newsletter, I'm out of here. Or I signed up, I got the VIP, I'm not going to be able to make it. So how do we get people back in there? It's really the engagement. But again, what are the requirements? So if you require, hey, bring sponsors. Sponsorship's a great way to come in there. Maybe give your speaker some more value, especially if you charge it. Should it be free? No. I'm going to say that again. No. If it's a great way to leverage if you have clients, a stage is a perfect place to bring those clients in and give extra value to share a stage with them. Absolutely. Introduce them, refer them to the audience. Why refer them to your tribe? Why are you referring them? Because you probably have affiliation. That's a great way to make money. Sponsorship's a great way to make money. A lot of people want to do affiliation. They talk about the collaboration, but they don't share it or they don't pay it, right? They don't want to, I'm always getting, you hear that with some people, I'm getting my affiliate link ready. Well, it's been 5 years. What happened, right? So those are the things, it's really that critical thinking of what is really happening. And yes, it's a judgment call. Whatever you want to call it, you should know that this is what happens. This is a strategy. This is what happens. It costs money. It's 250 hours in the least to host an event. 250 hours, emails. That doesn't include speaker training. People don't have that in there. They expect the speakers to show up trained. That doesn't include speaker training on the tech. How does the system work? Most people expect that you show up or that you're just going to get it. I offer speaker training. I think it's a great way to make sure that your speakers are listed. People don't, let's see the value. Let's not get mad at everybody because they don't understand. Forgive them for they know not what they do. However, let's re-engage with them and teach them this is what is expected when you come to the platform. This is what's expected. If you want to be a paid speaker, that's great. What's that certification cost to be first a coach? You had to pay for that. A speaker, you had to pay a speaker coach. You have to pay Mind Valley if you want to be on Mind Valley. What a great place, right? Great people on the stage. Lisa Nichols, I don't know who's there recently. You got to come in to get their certification to teach. What does it cost you to get there? What does it cost you to put your product together? And then they got to put the event on. And do you pay or do they pay you? You probably pay to get in there at first if you're not a big name. And then you get your foot in the door and you get paid, right? So let's look at cost. Yeah, Tony Robbins, a couple days. Once a year, he gives a little bit away. You give a little bit away to your audience, but who are you bringing up? If he's bringing other coaches up, I'm sure they had to pay for some training, Tony Robbins style, to get in there. They had to get their foot in the door. So when you do that, there is some money that is exchanging hands. And so let's not negate that trip in there. If you've got the experience and you can go to a live event and get paid, fantastic. More power to you. You have shattered the glass ceiling. How awesome is that? But moving up, you can't just show up one day without experience, without know-how, without training, and just be on a stage and think that you're gonna get those signups, right? So it's a reciprocal. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people just wanna drive in and show up to. And it's a different beast. There's a lot of tech that goes in there. You got to pay your people. It is marketing. So put that in your budget too. So what does a stage do for you? Those events leverage you. They can leverage you to live events. They can share. The approach really delivers scale, the visibility. You want to get the visibility. The visibility is key. Going in there and saying, hey, who knows you? How much are you showing up? I see Mona, for instance, that's the last person I looked at, came into YouTube. She comes into YouTube, she talks, she shows up, she says hello, and then comes into the events, right? And participates in that moment in that podcast. So what are you doing? What are you bringing for the value to come in? If you want to just drive by, if your speakers want to drive by and come on the stage, that's fantastic. Come in, pay for your fast food, your supersized meal, your happy meal, and then drive through. Those are people that want to do that. They want to move on, go to the next event, go to the next event. But know that when you leave that one night stand of the stage behind, that there's a bit of a cleanup that's left over. So know that it's a process, and we all do have to pay our dues. But how do you use it? So let's go from the speaker. Now you've graduated into host. You want events that are influence engines. You want to build in lead generation. Lead generation comes where you set the site up. You can bring that in. People can sign up. It comes from social media. Are you listing on Facebook, where that has an event page? LinkedIn has an event page. I mean, I had several hundred people sign up and I couldn't DM them. I couldn't get a hold of them and remind them that the event went on. Oops. What do? You want somebody else that can support you to do that too. So know that there's different pages. Why do so what's the next thing? And that's why you'd rather not be the host, right? Because you don't have to worry about getting a hold of people. You don't have worry about having to send that email out again, the apology email. The summit host, the person that's putting the summit together, that's creating, and that's what I do, is a concierge service, right? So I create that. How would you love to be the summit host and show up in your best? Show up with your great presentation, show up to connect to the audience and feel good, right? So you can have that full support team. You don't have to do the video, you don't have to do the recording, and you can get all the leads yourself. You don't have to dig those out. You don't have to one-to-one them. You don't have to worry about the AI headache of harvesting all those things, right? It is not always just a download click of a CSV. That's something else. Did you know that? Now you do. There's something that somebody else like myself can help you do that. So there's lead generation. There's a new way that it happens. It doesn't just happen on your lead magnet. Wouldn't you rather, like, if you have a stage and you're sharing a lead magnet and maybe you get 10, 20 people signing up. I mean, I went to a summit. I just had a summit and there was people that were still signing up for the lead magnet. Thank you so much for doing that. It's so awesome. They signed up, they got the really cool gift, and it was still another week later. right? So would you like that set up for you? So you can have that if you need help getting that workflow set up, if you need help getting that social media set up, if you need help training the speakers on here's the tech, here's the dashboards we're using, and all we need you to do is sign up, and somebody else can go in the back office and get that all set up. How about that? So leveraging those events, how would you like somebody that's able to show up and just give you full support? Drop links in the chat. Are you thinking of that? Oh man, you're a summit host and you're talking to people and you're on the stage presenting. Don't you want somebody in the background to send your leads? Not a virtual assistant that doesn't know you, not somebody that you can't trust, that's not going to be able to have a positive communication. And if a speaker changes their link the last minute, somebody that's really going to go in there and say, hey, check those links, make sure they work. If something got updated in the speaker last minute, and there are a few that do that, they show up even in the middle of the conversation and update you then during the presentation. Hey, I got a new link. So you got to go grab that link. You got to put it in there. You got to reshare it. Even if the speaker shares it, you got to reshare it. You don't have to think about those little nuances. How would you like somebody to get the assessment done, help you reach your goals, share with you how sponsorship's done? That's what visibility is about. Visibility is not just driving up anymore at the McDonald's drive-through and just showing up, hey, I want a Big Mac. There's a lot that goes on. You want that Big Mac to taste the same as it did in the other franchises, then you have to have somebody run the business. You have to have somebody that you can count on that's going to do that for you. So you need that in the background because it just doesn't happen. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, Mona. You have, can I get into LinkedIn? Yeah. See that here? Nope. Okay, can't do it, but that's all right. We'll get that set up. But you want people to come in and show up. And I've seen people not charge for their events and you don't see them again. They never want to have another event. They never want to come to do another webinar because they don't feel supported because you did everything yourself and you didn't realize the time that it took. And then you can't be creative. If you put this all together, how do you get creative? How do you spend if you're in your logical mind all day? How do you get to your product launch? If you're in that mood all day where you've got to deal with the broken tech, how do you come on stage and feel great about your presentation? If you're worried about support for your summit, how are you scaling if you can't fix your product and launch your product? So if you got a product launch coming up, or you've already launched your product and you want to bring that to the table. Let's just say you have a book for the author summit. Let's say you're an author. You want publicity. You want to come to the summit. You want to share your book. You want to be able to get the book and talk about the book and have your lead magnet. Maybe you recorded a video of it, you reading a chapter, and that's what you want to concentrate on. But if you are worried about running the summit and getting it listed and getting it visible, and you're worried about all that back there, you can't show up. You're so worried. You may forget to share that lead magnet or be able to have that moment where you're like, the muse hits and you light up and you're like, I gotta do this recording, the night before. 'Cause sometimes those creative drifts hit, but maybe you don't want to be so stressed out that you can't get it done. And that's what this is all about, really. It is when you host an event and you want to reach up to that, it's for speakers, leaders, coaches, that's really entrepreneurs, right? In this day and age with tech changing, you want somebody who's going to be able to keep up with all that. And you want somebody who's going to be able to pivot and not in the mindset of yesterday. Because people do say that. It worked yesterday. The last time I was on the summit, or I've never been on the summit, I don't know. Instead of saying, hey, how can I do better? Or what can I do so this works positively? Or what can we do together? I get frustrated. I don't want them to be frustrated. That's why I tell you what's going on. You want somebody that's able to work in that manner and express that, so you understand what's really going on. You want that wingman, right? So Entrepreneurs tired if you're not getting the visibility you deserve. People don't know about your product. You're the best kept secret. This is why you have a summit. The more that you're live, the more that you're out there, the more you can see, the more people see you. Let's get back to engagement. Let's get back to talking to people and encouraging people. People see you at a summit, they're more willing to have a conversation, even in a networking, have a conversation with you in the DM, comment on your social media post. It was really weird. People thought it was Facebook for a minute in LinkedIn when I was having the problem. They couldn't comment. They were just, maybe sometimes liking it, or I could see profile views. Really weird. So you want to be expert ready. You want to monetize. So if you're a publisher and you want to have a summit, you probably want sponsors in there. You're great sponsors. Who are your power partners, right? Not just authors, not just coaches. Power partners are people that can maybe share an affiliate link. That can be a great sponsor, right? Somebody has a product they're launching, they have a book they're launching. Maybe Billy Bob Joe just wrote a book about hiking in the mountains and he wants to launch that during the event. He can upgrade and become a speaker. So things like that, we can assess those things. Easy peasy. Anyone who wants an event, you want the event to work hard. You want to come in and shine. And that's why it's great to lead and delegate people to that. The bottom line is you don't need more stages. You just need to show up and be visible. You need that strategy to get to that five-figure payday. And you put it in place. It's your strategy. Let's go. You know what? You got questions, come in the voice lab, book a call with me. Let's get on a one-to-one. I'm willing to share that information with you. I am so glad that you're here. Of course, of course. And I'm glad you guys came. If you're watching this on the replay, you want to join the voice lab. You want to get in here and join the voice lab and you know I'm looking for that link. Know that we're here to support. It's free. Come on in. I mean, you can upgrade it. You want to get on stage? You want to sponsor? Come on in. We had people do that. Just made a commercial, did a few updates. I'm excited because we get to play this new commercial. This person in Sense made them a commercial about their product to get them more visibility so we can play it on our podcast. It's always great to support people and to share with them. Okay, they've got a weird setup here. To share with people. Um, okay, school, what are you doing? Looking for the link, but that's okay. All right. So it's always great to share with people and contribute, collaborate. Remember collaboration? People were asking years ago, let's collaborate, affiliate my product. And then where's the reciprocation? So what happened? Let's bring that back. Let's bring this back. Support one another. Get in the voice lab. Talk to people. Comment. Share stuff. Share the voice lab. You can get an affiliate link and share. Just great. What happens? You get a percentage if somebody signs up and becomes a member. How does, let's develop the community. Let's develop the tribe. Get rewarded. And these are great little pockets that happen in your group, and it's great for your business and it's great for your stage. We'll get people in there to share, know, like, and trust. All right, guys. All right, Nicole. This is Nicole for the Voice Lab. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. for the Pain Point Podcast. All righty. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. It's good to see you. I'll see you guys in the Voice Lab. And what do we got going on tomorrow on the calendar? Not only the Pain Point Podcast, um, but the I Refuse to Fail at 2:30 Eastern. That is tomorrow. That is Carl Lucci's networking. So Carl just spoke at Monday Morning Business Foreplay. Great guy, very interesting man, uh, great connector, uh, great referral person. So a good person that honest, simple networking, and that's what we want to get back to is on a simple connection. And I'll find which of the 10,000 links are here. Totally got to recalibrate my mindset on where everything is a little bit different. I love it. It's new. Have a great